when we do this next assignment. So now, as we mentioned before last night, you are first a disciple of Christ, and then you're disguised as your occupation. We might have time this morning. No, I think it'll probably be this afternoon. The pastor, paid clergy, are full-time equippers. Can I repeat that? Clergy is paid to equip full-time. Ministry, they do on their time. And what is ministry? To preach, to teach, to visit. All the things the pastor does now full-time, actually he should be doing it on his time. Because the job description is a full-time equipper. We're going to look at that. I know that's radical. Your full-time occupation may be to be a nurse or a gardener or whatever, and you give a gift of ministry to God. Do you see? So we are disciples of Jesus disguised as our occupation. Let me give you some ideas. Golfing for blessings. What a lame excuse for golfing. But anyways, to get together with a group of people if you like golfing. And then you go out to the golf course and you say, you know what? As we play the game, and somebody gets par in one of the holes, we'd like you to share a blessing that God has given you in your life this week. If you don't get par, we'd like you to share the struggle you're having this week and maybe how God could actually help out. And at the end of the game, have a prayer. Would that be difficult? While you're doing something you're enjoying. You can have time for Jesus, telephone intercessory prayer ministry. Start where you're at. By the way, Don Schneider. How many of you remember Don Schneider, president of the North American Division? He was the president of the North American Division, but he had his priorities in the right place. He said, first of all, I'm a minister of my neighborhood, and then I'm the president of the North American Division. So Don and Marty Schneider had met at the airport because they both traveled extensively, and we did a lot of work together with Church Works. Some of the material that I'm presenting is from that. And Don would always tell a story about how they got to the airport, and he looked at Marty and said it was their anniversary. Well, Marty, what do you want to do for their anniversary? They had met at the airport in the afternoon, coming from trips on their anniversary, and now they were planning what they would do for the rest of the day. And Marty says, oh, Don, I'm so tired, I just want to stay home. And he said, that's a great idea. Let me go to the market and get some ice cream. We'll just kind of celebrate it at home. So Don went to the supermarket and bought 10 gallons of ice cream. About 12 bottles of soda. He got to his house and opened, they live in a townhouse in Maryland, opened the garage door and pulled out a table. Don is not those that puts tablecloths and those things. Put a couple of paper cups or on the table, brought that ice cream and put it on there and put a spoon in there. And then he went around the neighborhood saying, hey everybody, it's my anniversary, come and celebrate it with us. And people already knew Don because they knew Don. They had prayed for them, they had made contacts, they were the ministers of their neighborhood. They would come down from the townhouses to celebrate. And then Don would have a little message about how God had blessed their marriage while people were having ice creams and soda. When he left, they said, the minister of our neighborhood is leaving. You're the minister of your neighborhood. What can you do? You're already thinking of some things that you like to do. Well, whatever you do, don't do it alone. Let me just give you one more illustration, then we'll go to the exercise here. In Columbia Union, a lady came out after one of the seminars and said, oh, I love this. I love this. I kind of felt bad when she said that. Because when she said it with a big smile, and you could see that she was missing all her front teeth. Her hair looked like if she had put her fingers in the in the electrical jack. They were all standing up. And sometimes we look at the exterior, don't we? We judge a person by exterior. And I said, yeah, that's nice. Just didn't even pay attention. Because we do. That's hard. It's to get over what we see. Well, the next time we had the Equipping University in that area, people had come back for the second course. I had the privilege of having it. And during lunch, during the noontime, they said, Pastor, we're going to be gone in the afternoons for just an hour. A group of us, our ministry group is leaving because one of the ladies from our ministry group was pregnant last time, and now she's having the baby in the hospital. And we're going to take her a baby cake. And I thought to myself, and I'm not a judgmental person, I said that's inappropriate. Probably give her a Jenny Craig diet. It's after the baby, right? But they were taking her a baby cake, about this big. And I was hungry, and I was looking at the baby cake from afar. Because they had put it there. They actually brought it up front. I said, why did they bring it up front? Like, they're taking a baby cake to a lady who just had a baby. And they put it up front like a showpiece. And it was close to noon. So as they were in an exercise, I walked over to see, And as I got closer, I started seeing something that called my attention. That it wasn't food. It was diapers. Folded in such a way that they made the layers of, do you see what I'm saying? The cake, the little icing, right? Icing. On the top, it had a bib folded in such a way that it made a rose and a pacifier as the cherry. It was all the things a mother would need in the first weeks of giving birth to their child. I was astonished, to say the least. I was looking at that and said, who had the thought of creating this thing? What a wonderful gift. And I think I was so astonished that I verbalized it. I just said, who? And out of the back jumped this lady with all her hair standing up, her front teeth missing, and said, I do that. I said, come on up, sister. Tell me, what is this? She says, I do that. I go to the hospital on a weekly basis. I write down the names of the babies and find out who the mothers are. And I prepare for each a baby cake. And on the bottom, it has a wonderful promise for their child as they surrender it to the Lord. Wow. And the address of the local church for a baby dedication. Wow. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? In the same groups of 2 or 3, each person takes 2 minutes to answer. In other words, you take 2. So it would be 6 minutes, right? Now, if you're in a group of 4, then you have to answer it a lot quicker. And in a group of 5, like there are on the other side, how can I take what I love or lack and give it to God for His glory? How could I do what I love with people who don't know Jesus yet? So now what I'd like you to do is to brainstorm with each other. What did you just share? Whatever it may be. Let me hear one of you. Just raise your hand. I'll give you an example here. Just raise your hand and say, this is what I like to do. And I don't care what it is. Yes?
I love to travel, so does my friend here.
You love to travel?
Yes.
Excellent. To other countries? To where?
Yes.
And you travel together? No, you just said your friend, right?
We've never traveled together.
I just see road trip written all over you. Road trip, yes, road trip. It's hard to go on a road trip alone, isn't it?
That's right.
So I would encourage you to go back to your church and get some other lady, not ladies, and plan a road trip. And then go to either the ministry or your spouses or your family and tell them we're planning a redemptive road trip. because we're going to tell some of our friends at work or our neighbors that we'd like to take a road trip and we need them on that road trip. So for you two, there should be another two that are people who are not going to church that will go on the road trip with you. And on the road trip, you don't have to say, now we're going to worship here. It's restroom break and worship. No, but you can share as you stop in places what you do naturally. Say, I don't want to impose on you folks, but you know, every morning I get up and I read the Bible and I pray. Would it be all right if I read the Bible with you and we pray together? Do you see that? And you start sharing the love of God in a way that is natural. Are you married? Man, your wallet is going to overflow. Can you see it? Everything we love to do, we can do for God's glory. So what is the key? Now, whatever you do, don't do it alone. Do you have the assignment or not? Can you do it? If you're specifically challenged, raise your hand, and I'll go over and I'll try to help you out. Is that all right? But I think you can do this. So you have 6 minutes. What could I do? What could I do, what I love with people who don't know Jesus yet? That's the assignment.